All right. Mackenzie, what do you got?
On that theme, I feel like I have a very high floor here with the Green Bay Packers over 7.5.
Okay. Didn't go over San Fran. That would have been interesting. But I tend to like this. So it's a better, but I would say there seems to be high variance. What happens if Jordan Love's a disaster?
Yeah, wouldn't be good. I mean, even with a disaster quarterback, they could win 6-7 games. So I'm not, I mean, obviously it's not a lock to go over, but I just feel like their lowest they do is 6 wins.
Does it worry you?
6-11.
Does it worry you that defense is less sticky and thus what you're hanging your hat on is a D that was supposed to be pretty good, but really wasn't that last year?
That was actually an encouraging point to me. They were the number 1 rated defense by a lot of preseason analytics or preseason guys, and they were average or worse than average. If that talent is still there, maybe you roll the dice again in their top 10.
All right, that's an interesting. But I'm not sure how much the current number has to do with the failings of the defense last year.
They got their cornerback after a year of injury. Alexander, he should be better.
I'm having a flashback, RJ. You've got a better memory than I.
Right.
I think it's like around 2000 and it's 16 maybe. Like we're at some sushi place.
Okay.
And we're watching, and I've got Green Bay, and they're playing the Vikings, and
it was a playoff game. I was telling you how the books weren't going to take action once they had a lot of players. It wasn't
different. This was when Rodgers was out.
All
so
right,
I had Green Bay.
I think it was the same plays. We were watching,
and it was like Green Bay didn't score the whole game. All right, so it's like without Rodgers, and I was stuck with the wrong side with the Packers without a quarterback. So maybe I'm biased from how painful that dinner was.
Here's the thing: sometimes we got to appreciate the teams know more than we know, and we got to look at their actions. Now, I think it's two sides on this one. On one, we could say they didn't exercise the 5th-year option. They actually signed him to a 5th year that was at. It was, let's say, a team-friendly number, but it still gave some guarantees. So it was a guy in a weak position, in theory, Jordan Love, taking less, right? He could have bet on himself and say, no, I'm going to pull the Giants with Mr. Daniel Jones. Yeah, because they didn't give him anything. He dominated and got $40 million or whatever, times 3 or whatever it is, some crazy number. So on one hand, they are willing to trade. They didn't have to trade Rodgers. They were willing to trade him. It had to be some optimism about Love. On the other hand, they didn't want to exercise the 5th-year option. But maybe they would have, but they were able to fool the agent. So I don't know. I think there's two sides of this. I like it, though, because I think it's a low number. I mean, it just feels like it's hard to imagine it being lower. So I actually like it. What do you think?
I hate NFC overs.
Okay.
I'm going back to like I'm just following the big picture script because I haven't done enough work yet to really get into the nuts and bolts of it.
Now, could this be, Fez, that we did a quarterback draft, which, by the way, we're doing next week again, and you traded up to take Aaron Rodgers last year. So there might be some lingering resentment.
I remember it's too many the Bay of Pigs, Tampa Bay and Green Bay, yeah.